How much control do you really have over the choices you make every day? I mean, really. Well, in this explainer, we're going to dive into the super fascinating world of psychological influence and find out just how free your decisions actually are. I mean, just think about your day so far. Every single decision, from what you grabbed for breakfast to even clicking on this explainer, it all felt like your choice, right? It was all you. But what if I told you a lot of those decisions were actually being gently guided, kind of nudged, without you even noticing? But hey, you don't have to just take my word for it. Let's actually put this whole idea to the test, right here, right now, with a super quick experiment. All you got to do is play along. Sound good? You ready? Okay, let's do this. In just a moment, you're going to see 4 cards pop up on your screen. That's it. Your only job is to pick one. And please don't overthink it. Just go with your gut. Pick the one that kind of calls out to you. All right, here they are. So we've got a square, a cross, a star, and some wavy lines. Take a second. Just look at them. Remember, don't think too hard about it. Just which one are you drawn to? Go ahead. Lock it in your mind. Okay, got one? You should have a card picked out in your head. And you're probably thinking, okay, that was a totally free choice. There's no way you could know which one I picked. Well, we'll see about that, won't we? Okay, it is time for the big reveal. Let's see if I actually managed to predict which one of these 4 simple shapes you were drawn to. I have a pretty strong feeling that you chose the wavy lines. Now, if that was you, don't freak out. You're definitely not alone. Actually, you're in the vast majority. Now, I know some of you might have picked the star. That's usually the second most popular choice. But I'd be willing to bet that almost nobody, or at least very few of you, picked the square or the cross. And look, this isn't just some lucky guess. It is backed up by actual data. A university pilot study found this exact same pattern. A whopping 69% of people chose the wavy lines. The star came in at a distant second with 17%, and the other two, well, they barely even made a dent. See, my prediction wasn't magic. It was psychology. So that brings us to the big question, right? What on earth is so special about the wavy lines? I mean, it's just a bunch of squiggles. How did nearly 7 out of every 10 people get drawn to that one specific card? Well, the answer is in a tiny, tiny little detail that you probably didn't even consciously notice. It's a secret that was hiding in plain sight the whole time. Did you see it? The card with the wavy lines? It wasn't perfectly straight like the others. It was tilted, just a little bit askew. Now, maybe some of you noticed it, but just thought it was, a mistake. But nope, that was completely on purpose. That tiny little difference, that was the whole key. So what you just experienced is a textbook example of subconscious influence. See, by tilting that one card, we broke the pattern. And your brain, on a deep subconscious level, is drawn to things that break patterns. It just stood out enough to grab your attention, but without you consciously realizing why. And believe me, this isn't just some clever card trick. It's a really well-documented psychological thing. To see how it works in a totally different way, let's take a look at another awesome study. This one's called the potato chip test. Okay, so in this study, a researcher named James Naylor got a bunch of people together and asked them to rate different potato chips. A pretty standard taste test, or so all the participants thought. But here's the twist. The thing they didn't know, every single chip they tasted was exactly the same. They all came from the same big batch. The chips themselves were identical. The only thing that was different was the packaging. Yep, the only actual difference wasn't the chips. It was the bags they were in. Even though the chips were all the same, the weight of the packs was different. Some were a little lighter, some were a little heavier. And here's the really important part. The people in the study didn't consciously pick up on this difference in weight, but it had a massive, massive impact on how they rated the chips. The study found, and I'm quoting here, those chips that were in the more heavy packs were rated best. Isn't that wild? People consistently believed the chips from the heavier bags just tasted better. So why would that happen? Well, on a totally unconscious level, our brains make a really simple connection. Heavy equals more. More substance, more quality, more value. That physical feeling of weight literally translated into a perception of better taste, even though it was completely imaginary. So you see, whether it's a card that's just a little bit crooked or a bag of chips that feels a bit heavier, the world around us is constantly sending these subtle signals that shape our decisions. Let's kind of wrap this all up and see what it really means for you.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? Well, it's that our sense of free choice is, well, it's way more suggestible than we probably like to admit. These tiny little cues in our environment that we don't even notice, like a tilted card or the weight of a bag, they are constantly guiding our preferences. We think we're making a rational choice or just going with our gut, but so often it's these hidden little things that are really pulling the strings.
And that leaves us with a really fascinating question to chew on. The next time you're making what feels like a simple choice, I don't know, maybe picking a product at the grocery store or clicking a link online, just stop for a second and ask yourself, what other free choices that I make every single day are actually being guided by a hidden hand?